Hello everyone, welcome back around the drum. I'm Tay, this is David, and that is Jay. Today we're going to discuss the reveal by Zoom of the PodTrak P8. That is an all-in-one recording podcast system, standalone item. It does have a USB, but it's meant to be standalone item, and it's brand new. And so David, let's just talk about it a little bit. Tell me kind of its features.
Yeah, so to begin, we've got 6 color-coded digitally controlled mic pre's. They each have 70 dB of gain, which is insane. We've got a touch screen for onboard editing that lends itself to being a standalone unit. We've got a phone input with the mix-minus feature, so you can have people call in and they don't hear their feedback. One thing that's really cool is the 9 assignable touchpads. You get 4 banks of these, and it even comes with 13 preloaded sounds, but you can also add your own sounds to it. You can record up to 13 tracks simultaneously. That's the individual tracks, the sound pads, and the stereo mix. You have the color-coded faders, which also match the color-coded headphone amps and the preamps. And you even get the mute buttons and the on-air lights for each channel. This is pretty portable because you can use the power supply or the battery power. And it's also a 2x2 interface, so you can record the stereo mix into your computer. You can also get playback from the computer, and you can even set this up to live stream the podcast. You can record to SD, SDHC, and SDXC cards with a max of 512 gigabytes. And this is a 16-bit class compliant device, so you can just plug it in and start recording into your computer.
I would say the coolest thing about this is that it's compatible with the SM7B. They said it has 70 dB of gain, which is a ton.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
And they specifically mentioned that it works with the SM7B, which is, maybe 40 or 50% of the podcast market for microphones. So yeah. I think that's a huge selling point. So the obvious comparison here is with the Rodecaster Pro, which is $599. So they came in $100 cheaper at $499. And
with 2 more preamps too, right?
Two more preamps.
So this one has 6. The Rode has 4. Right. And the PodTrak P8 has 6 headphone individual headphone outputs, and the Rodecaster Pro has only 4.
Right, to match the number of preamps.
Right. So that's the big, so there's more for less. But my question to you guys is, how do you think this is going to sound?
Doesn't it have more pads too? I think the Rodecaster
it has
Pro
9 pads.
I think the Rodecaster Pro has 8, but I don't quote me.
No, it does. The Rodecaster Pro has 8 pads.
So they basically said we're going to do 1 more, 2 more of everything, and we're going to be $100 cheaper.
Yeah. So they probably went after that, which is fine. We'll see. But my question is how is this going to sound? Does the Zoom sound better than Rode?
I think it's going to sound probably exactly the same as the live track stuff from Zoom, and that stuff was pretty well received.
Yeah.
I mean, Zoom has been making things with converters in it for a long time, and if you just look at some of the improvements they made from the H4n to the H4n Pro, the sound quality improvements were very large and noticeable. So I think that you're going to see that same thing put into the Zoom P8 most likely. And whereas Rode's been doing it for less time, but everything they do is really high quality. So I'm not going to disparage that at all.
I'd like to do a shootout. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It would be. Yeah. If we could ever get a Rodecaster Pro in stock anymore. They're they've been back ordered for months.
Yeah.
The P8 has that full color LCD screen on it, and it's a touch screen. And if you go and watch their promo videos on it, you can see it in action. I just worry about that a little bit. It seems like the gentleman is actually changing features and changing levels during the live podcast. And I think it looked to me a little bit cumbersome, so I want to know the actual ease of use, and you have to be very, very specific. If it's live, right? So you have to be be very deliberate.
Yeah,
and not mess up, because if you oops, you slip on the fader, you're like, what? So
people are gonna be loud.
I'm just wondering if it's cumbersome or not on the touchscreen during a live performance.
Is that the only way to control it? Do we know, or could it?
It is. They are digitally controlled mic preamps.
I know, but could it be controlled with a computer too?
Oh, maybe.
Because it has USB, correct?
It does.
The USB, I think, is just to get the stereo mix into the computer.
Okay.
Yep.
So maybe not.
And so that's what this thing does. It basically takes everything down to a stereo track out, and you perform it live and do all the balancing on the unit itself. And I'm interested in that sort of thing for my own endeavors, my own podcast. So I'm contemplating that, getting a device that just records it. You balance all the levels directly into the live feed almost, right? And you're recording down. I think you can record down to any DAW. You can record down to the SD card and have it ready to go.
Yeah.
So do all your work ahead of time, get all your balancing, get your test levels with the microphones, and then go. So I like that. It's you have to be ready. And you can't. There's no. For me, it's like you can't go back and edit things out. You can't take out noise. You can't redo. It's just.
Well, you could probably just chop sections, right?
And I noticed that too. In the promo video, he's taking his finger and he's editing the sound waves.
See, I'm not big on touchscreens. I don't even like using a smartphone, to be honest. I don't know.
It's a little. I'm worried about
That's not my thing.
precision is what I'm worried about. Like getting it just right. Like, is there room for error? Is it a smart? Does it snap to a grid? These are all questions I have about that editing.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried, but I'm just like curious about it.
Yeah.
So
I have a question. Would you guys do you guys think 6 preamps is too many? Or do you think it's a good amount compared to the Rodecaster Pro's 4?
I'd always rather have more, especially if price is equal or cheaper here. I would rather have more preamps for sure.
I suppose with 70 dB of gain too.
Yeah, because you just don't know whether what situation you're going to be in the future. Right now, I'd say 4 is fine because there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
But we could have somebody in from Focusrite or a couple people in from Focusrite, and if all 5 of us want to be in on that, well, that option is gone.
Yeah, good point.
And maybe this is a mobile device too. You can take it places and do your podcast or your live feed somewhere, and you could use the 5th and 6th channel to record the sound, the ambient sound around you with another microphone, and then put it up and down. Well, if you're on location,
maybe we were going to be doing a video about our new windows we got to show the sound difference. There we go. Found a way.
But I agree with Jay. More versatility, more options. If it's the same price point, sure.
And then what if a channel goes down? Then you have more channels.
True.
Redundancy.
Yeah.
So I like this thing. It's very interesting. Aesthetically, it's all silver, which is kind of like Zoom's one of Zoom's aesthetic models they have. I don't particularly like the color coding. I know it's for purpose.
Yeah.
I know it's the headphone amp color matches the fader color, but I don't particularly need that. I know. One is one, 2 is 2. But I guess it's handy for instant recognition.
I always like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll go on the record and say I like color coding.
Yeah.
Well, let us know what you guys like. Do you like that color coding or not? Leave a comment below. If you like this thing and are planning to get one, please leave a comment below. We're very interested to know its popularity. Do you have a Rodecaster Pro? What do you think of this now that you hear the announcement?
Yeah. If you have a Rodecaster Pro and you see this, what are your thoughts? Because I'm really curious about that.
Yeah. So leave a comment below. We appreciate you watching. You can pre-order it below too. Just click the link. And thanks for watching. We'll see you around the drum next time. Let's go back to you and talk to you. What do you want to say about it?
What do you want to ask me?
Fair question.
What were you going to say about it? Which one are we
David,
doing first?
Come on. Know your cultural touchstones here.
I thought you guys were talking about a guy from high school or something.
We're talking about PodTrak from Game of Thrones. $1 cheaper and
It has
And with a few more options.
Hollywood.
why don't you read your spiel while I
Okay.
go do this?
Yay. What did you find out, Jay? Anything?
She is. She's extremely tall, but they made her taller because in the story she's giant.
Wow.
Wow.
And she's a bad mother. She is. She's
She's the anti of what she was in Star Wars. So
she was in Star Wars?
Yeah, she was Captain Phasma.
I don't know. Star Wars movies are
Dumb.
Yeah,
You're right.
You don't remember it. Yeah.
Should
Wow.
we
good
should
information.
Should we look at this? Should-
let's
should we-
just skip over that whole